I don't think they're listening, but I don't think I care. Nah. 212. I'm here alone, wasting time making songs, and no one's gonna play them till the day that I'm gone. I could write an album and sound it without them. They wouldn't even notice if it's pounding around them. Got more than they got, and they're preaching above me, leeching, thieving all my blood and my money. Each day is a struggle, my brain's in trouble. I'm taking all my pain and I'm making it crumble. The words are my thoughts and I'm writing them down. And I'm taking a beat and I'm clowning around. I'm not a fucking rapper, so cut your chatter. I'm just another artist with some blood to splatter. Scribble scriptures, turn words to pictures, reversing bitches. My girth is vicious, I'm worth a listen compared to lames today. No meaning when they're speaking, it's the same charade. Maybe you ain't listening, but I don't give a fuck. One day when I'm gone is when you listen up. When I'm buried in the ground, they say I never sucked. Already you're a clown, but I never gave a fuck. You ain't listening, but I don't give a fuck. One day when I'm gone is when you listen up. When I'm buried in the ground, they say I never sucked. Already you're a clown, but I never gave a fuck. I don't think you're listening, don't think I care. Who the fuck are you looking down at me from there? I'm not scared of death, I once scared of birth, and I couldn't care less if it's dark and hurts. Part don't work when it comes to my senses. Start on a hope and it beat me senseless. My defenses get lazy when I'm tempted relentlessly. When it's daily frequented, I stay cemented on the rip-off high grade. Weren't none of that bullshit in my day. Sign in my age, life will pass by quickly. 3 decades just to wreck the name Mitzi. Infect the game swiftly, under the radar. Thunder and Tasia, fucking a major. Don't sleep on my words like Fred on bedrock. The cheese works best when it gets the head topped. Maybe you ain't listening, but I don't give a fuck. One day when I'm gone is when you listen up. When I'm buried in the ground, they say I never sucked. Already you're a clown, but I never gave a fuck. You ain't listening, but I don't give a fuck. One day when I'm gone is when you listen up. When I'm buried in the ground, they say I never sucked. Already you're a clown, but I never gave a fuck. Can count on one hand all the people I'm thinking that wouldn't put a knife into me when I'm sleeping. I greet them with the same respect, and I take what's left of this shameful mess. I wrecked it with my teen erection. Had no direction, now I need resurrection. I feel like I fucked my life when I bailed it. Let a dozen sluts take a ride on my pelvis. I'm grimy like Elvis's chin when he's eating. Grim when I'm speaking, I leave your grin shrinking. Your thin thinking is why you've been beaten. Concealing your mind with dim reason, believing unbelievable. The freedom they're feeding, the whole fucking planet ain't even been blinking. But let us not touch the long subjects. I've heard a fucking enough about the 1%. Maybe you ain't listening, but I don't give a fuck. One day when I'm gone is when you listen up. When I'm buried in the ground, they say I never sucked. Already you're a clown, but I never gave a fuck. You ain't listening, but I don't give a fuck. One day when I'm gone is when you listen up. When I'm buried in the ground, they say I never sucked. Already you're a clown, but I never gave a fuck. Maybe you ain't listening, but I don't give a fuck. One day when I'm gone is when you listen up. When I'm buried in the ground, they say I never sucked. Already you're a clown, but I never gave a fuck. You ain't listening, but I don't give a fuck. One day when I'm gone is when you listen up. When I'm buried in the ground, they say I never sucked. Already you're a clown, but I never gave a fuck.